do that and shuffle it about to there. Oh, I'm done. You can stay there. We'll put this over to the side. And back up there. But yeah, the AR frame, it's a bit like the hook lift tippers in that there's sort of a big grain hopper that doesn't have a tarpaulin, and then there's the agroliner tipper that does. And I selected to go with a pair of agroliners because it kind of helps to have a tarpaulin, especially when it snows everywhere and you end up with snow in the tipper bed, and it keeps the crop dry. But there are also some third-party, if you like, completely unrealistic tippers that have astronomical backup. This is the basic AR frame equipment that came with the pack. So you've got a bunch of tacks, you've got spreaders and manure sprayers and auger wagon, very helpful. I use those for seed and fertilizer replenishment. But see, this is only 25,000. This is 21 with a cover. I think that's 30,000. And then you have the Flegel, which is also 30,000. But if I go into tippers, there are all these AR frame tippers, 60,000 litres. Completely unrealistic, but yeah, I could buy one of those and ship 60,000 litres at a time. Plus, it's cheaper than the more realistic ones. I could buy one of those, or I could lease one of those, stick it on the back of this, and I could shuttle silage. One in the rig, and one just as a tipper on the back of this thing. But I don't know that I'm going to bother with that. Okay, so these are all not obeying gravity again, and there we go. Yeah, I try and keep it as realistic as possible. Obviously doing this isn't realistic, but technically I have the equipment on the farm, and were I doing this realistically, I would have a worker shipping this over to the main yard while I'm doing something else. But I never got the hang of using courseplay, and courseplay doesn't work well on a map with confined areas like this one. I think I gave courseplay a tryout on Sosnovka, but I didn't play Sosnovka for very long. And then I also tried it on Chellington, and it did not work on Chellington. I just ended up with, tractors wrapped round trees and trailers wrapped round trees, and it just wasn't working well, so I just said, And those will fall off the back. Yay. That's how it works. Try not to hit the manure truck. I'll spin past here. Because I'm going to guess, yeah, we've run out of silage to process. So we run that all the way over there. Turn the engine off, jump out. Turn the engine on, run this up to just behind it. There we go. Turn the engine off, jump out. And then we're going to have to move this. And like I said, yeah, when I'm doing slurry spreading on the field, I've got the worker refilling from the BGA digestate tank. Now that's not exactly realistic, but I will park this truck and a digestate or slurry tank on the back of it and say, well, that's running between the BGA and this field, you just can't see it, it's going so fast. And the worker's doing what I want it to do, and I can be cultivating a field or something else. Generally, now that I've got 3 big tractors, two Axion 940s and a Zerion 4000, I think, what I tend to do in those times is set 3 workers off, and I'm filling in the jobs that they can't complete properly. So I'll set one off cultivating. Once it's done, I'll set one off seeding, but I'm going to have to do the edges of the field that the one that cultivated just cultivated. So I'll do the edges of the field cultivating, then I'll move on to the next field, set that loose on a worker again, and by which time, oh, the slurry spreader's finished, I need to go and do the bits it didn't. And so I'm constantly jumping between tractors just to complete jobs more accurately. And unload, don't fall over, thank you. And those are the tools that Giants gave us. And while it works well on Goldcrest and Fellsbrunn and all the other Giants produce maps where the fields are artificially square, if you like, when you have a more organic map like this one, the workers just can't cope. And even the FarmSim 19 worker improvements aren't quite sufficient. They do a lot better than 17 did. That much I'm grateful for, but they're just not quite good enough. Okay, let's try and get this one lined up. So I parked this one a little bit further away than I have been. As long as I can get it parallel, which that looks like. We can just shuffle that over there and drop it and everything falls over. No, it doesn't. Good. How's this doing? Still clouds of silage. No, the other thing I want to check is how the cow breeding's going. I know the achievement is breed 20 cows. The problem is I don't know how many of the cows I have are the result of breeding and how many is the result of purchasing. Not there. There. Pig, sheep, cows. So we're going to get another cow in 10 hours. We're still only getting 1.5 a day. And there are only 6 days of breeding in a year, so that's kind of a problem. Turn that on. There we go. And that's done. Again. Other mods, I'm using a realistic fuel mod, which shows you the fuel usage under power. So if I floor this truck, I'm up to almost 140 litres an hour, whereas if I'm coasting it's 10, 15. But the other thing it gives me is a more realistic power usage on the vehicles, which translates into, just because your equipment needs 200 horsepower of off the PTO to operate, doesn't mean your 210 horsepower tractor can work it. On flat ground or downhill, yeah, your 210 horsepower tractor probably can work it. But driving up that hill over there with a piece of equipment that needs 200 horsepower plus your tractor's only got 210, you will stall on the hill, because there's gravity and friction that also has to be overcome. So you end up having to have a goodly amount of excess horsepower for a lot of the jobs, especially on a map that isn't flat like this one. Now all of my big tractors are at least 380 horsepower, which overcomes that issue quite nicely for most times. And slowly that Valtra has become less and less used. Yeah, I used to use it on oops, try not to hit those. I used to use it on harvester to silo transport, but then I got a really big auger wagon, and whilst the Valtra can haul the auger unloaded, and it has the power to operate the auger, you load that up with 56,000 litres of stuff inside and the Valtra just can't move. So we're pretty much using the Axions the Zerion for everything to do with harvest. And over a bit. That's not exactly parallel, but close enough. Don't fall over. Thank you. But the other thing the real fuel usage mod shows you is the power draw that you're currently putting on the vehicle. So at the moment I'm coasting, I'm not using any power at all. And And as I put my foot down, the power band on the left side of the speedometer will increase. Yellow is sort of a good working power. Red is you're pushing this vehicle to the limits. Now I believe Farm Sim 19 included aspects of this in the base game now. There we go. Okay, I think it's probably about time to check the silage truck and see where that's got up to. So it's also probably about time to save it just in case we get another freeze up. Oh, try not to hit the bales that are already stacked. Doink. Okay, turn that off. Save where we're at. And run over here and check the blue truck. Okay, I'm not seeing any silage pour. Yep, we're full. Archie Cousins, thank you for the follow and welcome to the stream. Nice big white wall of silage. So this should put us to 1.5 million. Will we make it? Oh, yep. Squeak. The other way. Turn the wheel the other way. That works. Oh. Straighten that up. And come on. Bingo. Okay. I really wish I knew how many cows we needed more to breed to complete the achievement. They're all done and they fell over. Now my other option, with the amount of money I have, I could buy another 80 cows. Get us down to breeding 1 per day, or 2 per day. That should get us to the point where we complete the achievement. Ooh. Try not to hit the scrap equipment. Ooh. Okay, straight up. Try that again. Well, yep, okay. I may start working a second row from here on. How are we doing? 7:40 game time, 10:45. That's another thing. I wonder how the backup of the stream has worked since we had the game glitched out on us. Hopefully I do have two. So as per usual, these episodes will be pushed to YouTube tomorrow morning. Or this episode in half-hour chunks. We're still making money. Run over the tree that's not really there. Nudge it over a little. Drop that right there. Okay. I'm gonna have to go and get the other truck in a minute. Yes, I have had stacks of bales fall over that fence doing this in the past. Okay. A little tap to the left. Done. Okay, money stopped coming in. Time to go and get a truck. wrong way. So I will keep this tipper because it's kind of useful to have. The pair of agroliners, one on the truck, one on a trailer, only comes to 42,000. This is shipping a good 59, so it's worth the extra. But only if it's not raining. Do. Oh, the other thing I haven't looked at is the weather report.